In a small town in Ogun State, there lived a young woman called Omolola. She was 24 years old, tall and beautiful, but her life had never been easy. Omolola's mother had died many years ago, leaving behind a house she had built with her sweat. But as soon as her father remarried, everything changed. Her stepmother moved into the house with her own children, and soon Omolola was treated like a stranger in her mother's home. She was not sent to school, she was denied good food, and she was used for house chores morning till night. Her stepbrothers and stepsisters laughed at her whenever she said she wanted to become somebody in life. Which school you go, which work you sabi do, you will just remain useless, they mocked her. One night, after a bitter quarrel, her stepmother shouted, "Pack your load and leave this house. You are no longer welcome here. This is my husband's house now." Her father, who had become weak under the control of his wife, did not defend her. With only a small bag of clothes, Omolola was thrown out of the house her late mother built. It was past midnight. The moon was bright and the whole street was silent. Omolola had nowhere to go. She walked aimlessly, tears streaming down her face, until she reached the edge of a stream that passed behind the village. She sat on a stone by the water, crying bitterly, asking God why her life had turned this way. As she wept, she began to hear voices, soft at first like whispers, then louder, echoing under the water. She wiped her tears and looked closely. To her shock, the water began to move in circles, and from it rose a group of beautiful women with long hair that reached their waist. Their skin glowed, their eyes sparkled like stars, and their voices sounded like music. Omolola froze in fear. She had heard tales about the marine kingdom, but she never believed they were true. That night, she had stumbled upon a meeting of mermaids. One of them, the leader, looked at Omolola and said, "Daughter of sorrow, why do you cry at our riverbank?" Omolola trembled but found the courage to speak. "I have no home. I have no family. My mother is gone, and I have been sent away." The mermaids looked at one another, then the leader smiled. "Do not cry. From today, your life will change. We will give you a gift. Through you, the world will know the beauty of the sea." They stretched out their hands, and in Omolola's eyes, she saw visions. Human hair wigs, longer and finer than anything sold in the market. The mermaid said, "We give you the power to trade in these hairs. Anywhere you go, people will desire them, and your wealth will multiply. But remember, you belong to us." By the time Omolola opened her eyes, the river was calm again. She looked down and saw bundles of shimmering human hair wigs in her bag. That was how her life changed. The next morning, she went to the market timidly, carrying one bundle. To her surprise, a woman rushed to her and said, "Sister, how much is this hair? I have never seen quality like this." Omolola mentioned a price that even she thought was too high, but the woman paid without argument. From that day, she began to sell more and more. Within months, she rented her own shop, and customers trooped in from Lagos, Ibadan, and even Port Harcourt just to buy from her. She became known as Lola Wigs, the girl whose products never finished and whose beauty never faded. But with the wealth came a shadow. At night, she would dream of the same mermaids calling her back. They would say, "Do not forget the covenant. You belong to us. The hair is ours, not yours." People in town began to whisper, "How could a girl with no education, no support, suddenly rise so fast?" Some said she used charms. Others claimed she went to the marine kingdom. Her stepmother and siblings, who once grew her out, now envied her success. They tried to reconcile, but Omolola never forgot the night they chased her away. As the years passed, her wealth grew, but the call of the sea also grew louder. Each success reminded her of the strange covenant she had entered into by accident that night. From that first day in the market, Omolola's name began to spread. At first, she sold just 1 or 2 wigs in a week, but within a short time, she could not even meet the demand. Women came in the morning, waiting at her shop before she opened. Some came with their daughters, others with their friends, all saying the same thing. "Lola, your hair is not like the ones others sell. Yours is different." Omolola herself was surprised. No matter how much she sold, her bag never seemed to finish. Each time she opened it, new bundles of shining human hair would appear. Some were curly, some straight, some wavy, all of them looking finer than any other wigs in the market. She rented a bigger shop. She hired 2 sales girls. Before long, she had 3 shops in different parts of town. Her name was now known not only in Ogun State but across Lagos and even Abuja. People said, "If you want the best hair, go to Lola Wigs." One woman, who had bought a wig from Omolola, came back the next week looking pale. She whispered to Omolola at the corner of the shop, "Since the day I wore this hair, I have not been sleeping well. I see women with long hair chasing me in my dreams. I wake up sweating, but when I remove the wig, I sleep peacefully. What is happening?" Omolola smiled gently and said, "Do not worry, it is just your mind playing tricks. Keep the wig, it will pass." The woman accepted the explanation, but deep in her heart, she knew something was strange. Another customer, a rich trader from Lagos Island, bought 5 wigs at once. 2 weeks later, she came back with heavy eyes. "Sister Lola, each time I wear this hair, my husband says I look more beautiful, but he has stopped sleeping. He wakes up at night shouting that he sees women standing by the window. 3 of them with long hair, staring into the room. What kind of product is this?" Omolola's heart shook within her, but she pretended to be calm. "Do not worry, my sister. Just pray. Sometimes beauty attracts jealousy from the spirit world." By then, Omolola herself had begun to feel the weight of her covenant. Every full moon, she would dream of the river again. The same mermaids would appear, their eyes bright like fire. They would say, "Daughter, remember the covenant. This wealth is not yours. The hair is ours. You belong to us. When the time comes, you must return." At first, Omolola ignored it. She told herself it was just a dream. But as her wealth grew bigger, the call of the sea grew stronger. One particular night, after counting her sales and locking her shop, she returned home to her newly built house. She lay on her bed and closed her eyes. Immediately, she found herself standing in the middle of the river, surrounded by the same mermaids. This time, they did not smile. The leader stepped forward and said, "You have eaten from us. You have sold our hair. People wear it and we follow them into their dreams. But you, Omolola, you have not fulfilled your own side. When will you give us what we require?" Omolola trembled. "What do you want from me?" The mermaid replied slowly, "We want your bloodline. You will never marry a man of the earth. If you do, he will die. You will never have children of your own, unless they are born of the sea. This is the covenant you entered when you took our gift." Omolola screamed and woke up sweating, her heart beating like a drum. She realized then that her success was not free. Her wealth had come with a price she was not ready to pay. But what could she do? If she stopped selling the wigs, the mermaids would come for her directly. If she continued, more women would suffer strange dreams and attacks. Day by day, her shops expanded. Day by day, her customers multiplied. And day by day, the shadow of the marine kingdom followed her, reminding her that her life was no longer her own. What Omolola did not know was that the more people wore her wigs, the more the marine kingdom grew in power. As Omolola's wealth grew, so also did the strangeness around her. Every night she dreamed of water. Sometimes she was walking barefoot on the sand, hearing the sound of drums under the sea. Sometimes she was standing before a throne made of shells, pearls and gold, with women kneeling around her. The mermaids always spoke one thing: "Daughter, your time is near. You were not chosen only to sell our hair. You were chosen to serve us. You will be our priestess on earth." At first, Omolola rejected the voice. She told herself, "I cannot serve spirits. I just want to live my life." But the more she resisted, the more troubles came. Her customers began to complain that their dreams were tormenting them. Some said their husbands had left them. Others said their children were falling sick. One even said her shop caught fire the night she wore the wig to a party. Omolola's heart was troubled, but still, she could not stop selling. The demand was too much and the money was sweet. But then came the night that changed everything. Omolola was sleeping when she heard a loud voice call her name. It was not a dream. The voice echoed in her room. "Omolola, Omolola." She sat up, shaking. Suddenly, water began to pour from the ceiling, flooding her room, yet her roof was intact. In the middle of the water, she saw the mermaid queen rise, her crown glittering. The queen said, "You cannot run anymore. We have made you rich, but now you must serve us. You will be our priestess. Through you, we shall reign on the land. Your shop is only the beginning. A temple shall rise in your name." Omolola screamed, "No, I cannot do this." The queen's eyes burned like fire. "If you refuse, we will take everything from you, your wealth, your beauty, even your life. But if you accept, the whole world will bow before you. Men will kneel at your feet, and kingdoms will honor your name." From that night, Omolola could no longer sleep in peace. Every day, she felt drawn to the river. Sometimes her legs would carry her there without knowing. She would sit by the water for hours, as if waiting for someone. Her neighbors noticed. They whispered, "This girl is no longer ordinary. She may have been chosen by the gods." Her stepmother, the same woman who once cast her out, came to beg. But Omolola no longer looked at her as family. She was now surrounded by mystery. And then, one night, it happened. The mermaids came again, not in a dream, but physically. Omolola was walking home when she saw them waiting by the stairs, their eyes glowing in the dark. They stretched out their hands and said, "Come, daughter. Your time has come. Come take your seat as our priestess." She felt her legs weaken, her body trembling. A strange power pulled her towards the water. She wanted to resist, but her lips opened by themselves and she said, "I accept." The river roared like thunder. Lightning flashed in the sky. Omolola disappeared into the water that night. By morning, only her clothes were found on the bank. Some say she drowned. Others say she was taken. But those who truly know whisper that Omolola now sits as a priestess in the marine kingdom, ruling both in water and on land. Her shops continued to run, as if invisible hands were managing them. Her wigs were still being sold, and women still trooped there, not knowing that each purchase tied them closer to the marine powers. And so, the girl who was once thrown out of her mother's house became a queen, but not of this world, but of the sea, forever bound to the covenant of the mermaids.